there and share these products and share these transformations with other people and create a win-win scenario for people, right? See, the one thing about the business world, you guys may not believe this, my background was as an artist and as a designer, okay? I went to an art school in Pasadena called Art Center College of Design, and I was your quintessential introverted artist, okay? So meaning I don't talk to people, very socially awkward, and actually outside of this Yoli room, because I feel like I'm amongst family and friends, and that's why I can stand up here and sort of talk. You get me into any social environment, like, I mean, Carl knows this, Rowena knows it, I don't know where Myra's at. They've invited me to I don't know how many parties, and I always politely decline, because I know when I show up, I'm gonna be really awkward, okay? Like, my buddy Freddie back there has grown up with me since the elementary days. I mean, I don't know if he remembers this. Every junior high school and high school dance, I just stood by the wall. Like, I just said, pretty girls. You would not believe how incredibly awkward I get. And so, for me, like, this idea of business and sales is also very intimidating because it requires us to talk to people. But what I realize is, if you find something that you genuinely like and it's done something real for you, it's so much easier to share something, right? Because it kind of comes from your heart and people can read that. But make no mistake that this idea of a home-based business, again, 15 years ago when I got started, I just needed to make some extra money. I just graduated college. I couldn't find a job, okay? I had massive amounts of student loan debt. And by massive, I mean probably to the tune of about $145,000, okay? And I had about a $24,000 credit card debt at the time. And the best job I could get, I had a part-time job here in downtown LA, designing embroidery hats and screen print t-shirts. And I was getting an offer to do tutoring, for art tutoring for kids, and that was the best. And I graduated from a very prestigious art school. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this all back. And so I got started in this industry as a way to make some extra money to pay the bills. That was it. I didn't understand anything about business. I just said, look, if this can pay some bills, I'll give it a shot. But as I've been a part of this profession for 15 years, there's a lot of concepts that I've started to understand and master, and I want to share those concepts with you guys so that you guys can see what this industry is all about. Because, with this profession of direct selling or multi-level marketing, people get a lot of misconceptions about what it is. Yep. And it happens because, unfortunately, I'll be very transparently honest with you, there are a lot of bad companies out there, okay? Yeah. Now, again, I do, of course, being a part of Yoli, feel like we're part of a great company, and I want to explain a little bit of that for you guys. So, first thing I want to do is not show my face. That's it. I want to talk about taxes really quickly. Taxes is a very burdensome topic, right? We all got past the tax season, hopefully. This man, Sandy Botkins, is an IRS attorney, former IRS attorney, and he's now a CPA, and he's a consultant for a lot of taxes. He writes amazing, innovative tax apps that people can use, and he's written multiple books. And one of the quotes that stuck out to me a few years back when I was reading his book, it says, every North American taxpayer who works a full-time job and does not have a side business is probably overpaying taxes to the tune of $3,000 to $9,000 a year. Now that sounds significant. I mean, again, like, don't get me wrong, I get it. Taxes go to helping to support a country, infrastructure, and all these other things. But who gladly likes to pay taxes? Probably none of us, right? See, I remember the time when I used to have a W-2, okay? And the way it generally works is you fill out a form, and your company, when you earn your check, you get it, and the deductions kind of happen without a choice, right? And back in my days, we used to get paper checks. There were no direct deposits. So we would open up the mail, and how many of you guys do this? And based on how many hours you work, you start to estimate how much you're going to make that week. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to make about this much. And I guarantee you that almost 7, 8 years I used to have a job, I would never make as much as I estimated that I would make. It's always less because taxes. And so again, I know none of us gladly pay the taxes, but hey, you know what? We live in this beautiful country. This is kind of part of the deal, right? Yep. And so, we're all looking for legitimate, legal ways to save on taxes. That's the key word. I mean, there's a lot of illegal ways to save on taxes, but that's not what we're about. And again, everything I want to share with you here in the next minute or two, obviously consult with your CPA, but what's really great about a home-based business is we build a business on something called a 1099, okay? Meaning you get all your money, you get very similar to being an independent contractor. And what's really amazing is as you become classified as sort of a self-employed entrepreneur or a sole proprietor, you get unique benefits that you don't normally get with your job. You get to start writing off business-related legitimate expenses. And many of these expenses are forms of things that you already currently pay for in your life. For example, a lot of you guys are filming me, which is kind of scary. But those cell phones, normally when you're on a job, that cell phone payment is coming out of course, after your payrolls and your checks and whatever it is, and you're paying for your monthly cell phone plan, your data plan, your new phone. But when you run a business, a lot of our businesses are done over the phone. We're sending links, we're sending emails, we're checking emails, we're responding with text messages with business partners. So now your cell phone bill can almost become a tax write-off. Things you're already spending money on. A lot of you guys, how many of you guys drive a car? Okay, some of you guys are walking, but apparently at least 60% of this room drives. And unless you own a Tesla, you're probably also paying for something called gasoline, right? And gas is not exactly cheap, right? And gas normally, again, when you have a W-2, when you have a job, generally that's an expense you incur and something you take care of. But now that you own your home-based business, when you come out to meetings like this, you get to go ahead and write off those expenses, whether it be maintenance, potentially car lease payments, potentially, again, gasoline bill. And again, you want to consult with your CPA, but there are a lot of things, I'll tell you right now, things that you normally would be doing that you can now expense as a tax write-off. You know, one time I had a conversation with my CPA, because my CPA's job is not only to do my taxes, but I actually hire a really good CPA who's designed to kind of mitigate what we call kind of an audit watch, right? She's going to look through it and say, hey, this looks kind of fishy, or this wants to look better, or whatever it is. And she said, Daniel, you travel a lot. Are you sure you want to write all this off? Like, you're going to Cancun, you're going to Costa Rica. Like, I don't know if the IRS is going to buy this. And then, of course, I showed them legitimate, of course, itineraries and business plans that we're doing leadership things, we're doing the meetings and the photos. And she said, wow, you're so lucky. You can literally write off bucket list destinations as business trips, because we are actually doing seminars and trainings out there. How cool is that, right? So again, that's something that you guys want to talk about, just some of the tax benefits alone that you get from running a home-based business. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about, a lot of people are kind of skeptical. They're like, hey, direct selling, network marketing, I've heard about it. I don't know, is it really legit? Is it really big? I mean, do a lot of people really do this? And the answer is absolutely yes. Now, this is dated, and it's only gotten bigger, okay? I'll tell you right now, I was looking for the 2017 chart, could not find it last night, but 15, and this only gets bigger. And this puts it into proportion. We're talking about industries here, okay? The National Football League, as an industry, between merchandising, team, ticket sales, as a whole, does $12 billion a year annually. Okay? The football league, okay? The music industry, roughly about $15 billion. The movie industry, $38 billion, okay? And as we go up, video gaming, how many guys, E3 just happened. I was telling Freddie about this. Freddie used to work for a marketing agency, and a lot of his clients were video gamers. And that's, the only physical activity I did before YOLO, video gaming. To me, I thought it was pretty good, right? $91 billion. And to give you an idea, worldwide, direct selling, multi-level marketing, $183 billion worldwide.
Wow.
So again, like a lot of times, and I joke, this is a joke, a lot of times when we get opinions about this profession, like, oh, it doesn't work, usually it's your friend from Burger King. I was that person. I didn't understand, and so therefore I disliked it. But the more I understood, the more I got involved, the more I researched, the more I understood. Yes, there are bads, but you take the good and you look at the stats, the numbers don't lie. This is a huge growing profession. And in a world, in an economical climate, we all understand that we're leaving, the industrial age is now over, and we're leaning into what we call the information age, where people are going out there and building businesses on the internet, drop shipping, Amazon, eBay businesses, .com businesses. Direct selling, and a lot of these businesses, these big businesses that are going on right now, are doing what we call vertical integration, meaning they go from manufacturing, shipping, distribution, and sales all in as one company. You know what's funny? I was dropping my wife and my kids off at Ontario Airport, and right next to the Ontario Airport is the FedEx sort of hub. So whenever you get to that airport, you'll see a bunch of FedEx jets parked outside. Tons of FedEx jets. That's a hub for them. What was really interesting 2 weeks ago when I dropped my kids off to head out of Ontario is now you're seeing fleets of Prime jets. Do you guys know that Amazon Prime, Amazon as a company, okay, is a distribution company. They don't, well, now they make their own products, but they were once carrying other people's products. They are literally becoming a logistics company themselves. They own trucks, shipping companies, and planes. They're going to force out UPS and USPS eventually. They're going to integrate that all. So from shipping it, and now they have Amazon Essentials. You got Amazon Basics, their own branded products. They make everything, guys. So Amazon is now manufacturing, storing, distributing, and now shipping the products to your door. They now own the locks and the security cameras that allow you to open the doors and put the products in your house. Amazon, that's called vertical integration. That's where everything is going. And direct selling, that's already the model, guys.
Yep.
That's where the term direct selling comes from. We manufacture the products, we cut out all the middleman, we're allowed to give the products, premium level products to you with a built-in profit margin that allows you to go out there and sell, make money, and other people can enjoy doing that as well. And that's where we come from. And Amazon's doing that right now, guys. So just keep that in mind, okay? So $183 billion. Let's talk about this concept of residual income. How many of you guys are familiar with residual income? Okay, that's fine, okay, a few of you guys. There's something called linear income or traditional income versus what we call residual income. I'm not saying one's necessarily bad or one's good, just let's understand the characteristics of it, okay? Linear income is probably what majority of us are used to. It's kind of the type of income that we make from our jobs. We go in, we work 10 hours, we get paid for that 10 hours, we leave, and that's what we make, right? In order to make more income, we go in again, put in the 10 hours, we make the money, we leave. Even if you work for yourself, let's say you're like a real estate agent, you go out there and sell a home, you earn commissions, and if you want to earn more money, you got to do what? Sell more homes. So even if you're an agent, again, that's what we call linear income. Now, some of the cons of the linear income is, God forbid you were to get injured, hurt, or disabled, and you were unable to work, that income would probably stop. Okay? Now, residual income, otherwise to celebrities and athletes or other people, are known as like royalties, right? Leonardo DiCaprio filmed the Titanic one time, right? You know, he filmed the Titanic, the movie one time. The movie went onto the big screen. He obviously gets paid for that. And every time that movie is replayed over and over and over, he makes a little bit of money from all of those replays, right? Not only that, every time a Leonardo DiCaprio action figure is sold, he makes money from that. Every time a pillow with his face is sold, he makes a little money on that. That's the merchandising. And again, I joke with that, but again, when you look at some of these modern day celebrity movie deals, like for example, if you guys know Robert Downey Jr., you guys know that what he negotiated with Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, he as one actor gets paid more than the whole cast of the Infinity Wars combined. What? I mean, that's his cut of the movies he does. He's immense business, and again, that's what we call royalties. And every time that movie gets replayed, every time you buy a poster, an action figure, he gets a little piece of all of that. All right, that's called royalties. Now, for me, unfortunately, I wasn't blessed with good looks, so I wasn't going to be a movie actor anytime soon. I wasn't given the physical abilities. You guys can see I'm short and skinny. So I wasn't going to be a pro athlete as well. And I have zero rhythm or musical skills like Myra, so I wasn't going to be a rapper or a musician. So I had to rely on other means of building royalties for myself. And this idea of residual income was introduced to me 15 years ago. And it was this concept that said, Daniel, if you go out there and build a business and build a customer base that enjoys and consumes your products, you can get paid for that over and over and over again. Now, the concept obviously initially sounded great, but I didn't know what that really, really meant until I decided, after 4 or 5 years of building a business, to take some time off. And I realized that instead of not getting paid or taking time off, the checks still kept coming. So someone asked me a great question, and I used to answer it differently. People would say, well, Daniel, I know you do really well in direct sales. How much did you make your first year in Yoli? And I used to answer that because I knew there was a number that showed up on my 1099. But now I have to answer, I'm not sure, because I still get paid off the work that I did my first year. Yes. And that's become bigger my second year, bigger my third year, fourth year, fifth year, because those customers are continuing to reorder and consume and use your products. So here's the guys, here's the thing. Number one, you need to find a great opportunity that allows you to earn the residual income. Number two, then you need to find a product that works and it's real. Because if we were selling lotions and potions that don't work, are people going to reorder your products? No. Absolutely not. And the key to building a residual income is the reorder and reuse and the reconsumption of our products. And it has to work. How many of you guys know customers that have sworn by, I'm Yoli for life? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. And to me as a business owner, that means cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It means every time they enjoy and consume our products, we're seeing a little piece of that. Let me give you an idea. Because some of you guys, again, still maybe not fully aware of what residual might mean, the magnitude of what that means. Some of you guys are more traditional. My brother, for example, he's a corporate America boy. Younger brother, very smart guy. He does actually extremely well in corporate America. So I have nothing negative to say, but we're on both opposite paths. I'm an entrepreneur. I take risks and I do all this stuff. He plays it by the books. He's just super, super conservative, okay? Now, he's the type that likes to put money away in a 401k, in a savings account, and this and that. He's like, yeah, you should save more. I'm like, no, I can take the money and invest and make more. And he's like, that's so risky, right? So let me give you an idea, okay? We're going to talk about bank interest, right? Savings account. Let's just say 5%, which is very, very, that's pretty good, a 5% return on just a standard savings account, right? So again, let's just start with 5% because it made the math easy for me, okay? So, to have $100, okay, this doesn't sound like a lot. I just want to start with something small and realistic. Let's say, as a hypothetical example, you were to build your Yoli business and you made an extra $100 a month residually. A month. Okay, so every month, every 30 days, based on all the customers that reorder your product, you make an extra $100 check that's sent to you every 30 days. That's the equivalent of putting $24,000 in the bank in a 5% return on investment savings account right now. Okay? That, again, to earn residually from your savings account $100 a month, you'd have to put away $24,000 to make $100. Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, I didn't have that when I started, but I could go out there and work. To do 200, you'd have to put $48,000. I'm going to just come down really quickly. To get $1,000 a month in residual passive income through your savings account, you would have to put away roughly about $240,000, about $250,000 a year to enjoy $1,000 in residual monthly income. I'm telling you right now, at least for me, I don't know about you guys. I mean, if you guys have a lot of money stored away, great. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's very fortunate. But I know, for me, and I know for the majority of Americans, we don't have $250,000 just laying around. I read two very interesting articles that both shocked me, but also saddens me a little bit. I read this article that says the #1 reason why most families declare bankruptcy or go broke is because of a medical emergency, okay? Most American families don't have an extra $1,000 to spare, meaning if something accidentally happened and you weren't prepared and you had to look, an extra $1,000 for a medical emergency. And that's the #1 reason why people are declaring bankruptcy and going broke, because of a medical emergency. And that can happen at any time. You know what I mean? Second shocking article that I heard was that only about 4.5% of Americans are currently financially independent. That means debt-free, no credit card, no government assistance, not borrowing money from anybody. So 96%, while we live, yes we live, we pay rent, we operate, we're borrowing to do that. And that's scary to me. You know what I mean? So again, the idea here is this. Again, residuals, again, is so powerful because the equivalent of what you needed to do in a traditional world to earn that passively is quite enormous to kind of do that, right? So again, this is a wonderful business, and one thing that I enjoy about it is it allows the average person that has very little capital or no capital, no employee, no experience, to get involved on a level playing field, willing to go out there and get trained and do the business, follow a system, and over time, compound that to something that I feel like is much easier to achieve than to go out there and put $250,000 away in a savings account somewhere, right? And that's what I love about this business, and again, at the end of the day, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of how this business structure works, but I'm telling you this right now, all of this doesn't matter if the products really didn't do what it said. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? And again, the stories is what powers that, and again, this is why I think Yoli is so powerful, and again, it's just only been growing right now. I mean, we just expanded to Canada 4 years ago, Philippines just 3 months ago, and then Mexico later this year, and it's going to continue to go from that. So again, guys, hopefully this kind of just opens your eyes to a little bit more about what this profession is. Again, I know some people have their opinions about the profession. This is the way the industries are all moving, not just in direct sales. I'm using Amazon as an example because if they're the elephant in the room, everyone is going to follow that model of direct selling later on. You know what I mean? So just kind of keep that in mind, and I think that's about it. So I'm going to hand the microphone back over to Lady. Thank you so much.